Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking today at this really massive event in Glendale, Arizona, the memorial service for Charlie Kirk.
Right.
And it really felt like more than just a memorial, didn't it? It was like a snapshot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Huge snapshot. You saw the scale, the organization, and yeah, the emotional core of a major political movement all laid bare.
So let's start with the basics. What are we talking about numbers-wise?
Okay, so the numbers are, frankly, staggering. Sources estimate about 95,000 people packed into State Farm Stadium.
95,000.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. That makes it one of the biggest political gatherings we've seen in, well, in recent years. And it was clearly designed, to be two things at once.
Okay.
A really somber farewell for Kirk, who was only 31, but also, undeniably, a political rally, a mobilization event.
And that's where it's really interesting, right? Because you had these two moments back to back almost.
Exactly. The widow, Erica Kirk, she gives this incredibly emotional speech about forgiveness.
Radical forgiveness, even.
Yeah, towards the man charged with the murder. And then, minutes later, President Trump steps up and declares Kirk a martyr.
Wow. Grace versus political grievance, side by side.
That's the core tension we really need to explore today, that juxtaposition.
So why should you, the listener, care about this?
Well, if you want to understand how this particular political movement operates, its structure, its intensity, maybe where it's headed, this event is like Exhibit A.
Yeah.
It showed the base, two very different ways forward, right after a tragedy. Hashtag the unprecedented scale and security burden.
Okay, let's dig into that scale first. 95,000 people.
Yeah.
Logistically, that's just immense.
It really is. State Farm Stadium, where the Cardinals play, normally holds, what, 63, 64,000?
Something like that, yeah. Maybe expands to 73,000 for, a Super Bowl.
Right. So getting 95,000 in there, they were squeezing people into every possible corner, and reports said thousands more were outside, in an overflow area at the Desert Diamond Arena nearby.
So this wasn't just local folks showing up.
Not at all. That's a key takeaway. People flew in, drove in from all across the country. They were arriving before dawn, apparently, caused massive traffic jams in the West Valley.
That level of commitment, traveling like that, it says something about the dedication, doesn't it?
It absolutely underscores the grassroots energy. This wasn't just casual support.
And with that many people, plus all the political heavyweights who showed up, security must have been intense.
Oh, intense is an understatement. The Secret Service had to step in, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
That's right.
Yeah.
The sources highlight this. The Department of Homeland Security classified it as a SEER Level 1 event.
SEER Level 1. What does that mean, practically?
It's the highest security designation there is, the absolute top tier.
Like it.
Like the Super Bowl,
Oh.
or the Boston Marathon, or, a presidential inauguration.
Wow. For a memorial service.
Exactly. And the U.S. Secret Service took complete command of the entire security operation.
So what did that look like on the ground for those 95,000 people?
Well, think strict. A total no-bag policy. Everyone, every single person went through metal detectors, magnetometers.
Standard for big events, maybe, but...
But here's the detail that really jumps out from the sources. No firearms allowed. Period. For anyone.
Even for police?
Even for active, sworn law enforcement officers who are attending. Normally, they might have an exemption to carry concealed.
Right.
But not under SEER Level 1. The Secret Service mandate overrides that. Everyone was prohibited.
So what does that tell us? I mean, needing Super Bowl level security, banning even cops from carrying for a memorial. What does that say about our current political climate?
It's a pretty stark indicator, isn't it? It shows this deep, deep concern about political violence. It's baked into the planning now for almost any major public gathering. It's like a data point, really, a physical sign of the polarization and the perceived threat level.
Okay, so moving from the security, the logistics, let's get to the heart of the service itself, the emotional peak.
Yeah, and pretty much everyone reporting on it agreed. The most powerful, the most resonant moment came from Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow.
And what she said was just stunning about the man charged with killing her husband, Tyler Robinson.
She quoted Jesus, didn't she? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Yeah. And then she looked out, or seemed to, and said, that young man, I forgive him publicly.
Just an incredible moment of public forgiveness. Christian witness, really.
And she framed it explicitly, didn't she? Said something like, the answer to hate is not hate.
Exactly. I forgive him because it is what Christ did and what Charlie would do. That was her reasoning.
And the reaction. In that massive stadium.
Immediate. The entire place, all 95,000 people, got to their feet. Standing ovation. Sources say it lasted nearly 2 minutes, and people were openly weeping. Just a hugely powerful moment.
And this wasn't just a personal statement, right? She'd just been named CEO of Turning Point USA.
That's crucial context.
Right.
Just days before. So this wasn't just a widow grieving. It was the new leader setting a tone for the whole organization.
Right. A tone of forgiveness.
But she also connected it back to their political work, quite strategically.
How so?
She basically argued that violence happens when dialogue stops. She said, and this is a quote, "When you stop the conversation, when you stop the dialogue, this is what happens. When we lose the ability and the willingness to communicate, we get violence."
So she's linking the tragedy directly to the need for more campus engagement, more debate.
Precisely. She's framing their continued, often confrontational campus activism as the antidote to the kind of violence that took her husband's life. It's a really interesting framing. #tag Trump's contrasting message and surprise tease.
Okay, so you have this powerful moment of forgiveness, this huge ovation,
Ah.
and then the mood shifts completely.
Like a switch flipped. Yeah.
Right.
Just minutes after Erica Kirk's speech, President Trump takes the stage.
And the message couldn't be more different.
Night and day. Where she spoke of grace, he immediately declares Charlie Kirk a martyr now for American freedom.
Martyr. That's strong language. It instantly reframes the whole thing, doesn't it?
Totally. It shifts from personal tragedy needing compassion to a political casualty demanding, well, a response. Political warfare, essentially.
And his language about the alleged killer was also different, wasn't it?
Yeah, noticeably stronger than most other speakers. He was one of the few to really focus on him, called him a radicalized, cold-blooded monster.
Wow.
And he stated Kirk was killed, and this is Trump's framing, because he spoke for freedom and justice, for God, country, for reason, and for common sense.
So linking the killing directly to Kirk's conservative message.
Explicitly. It elevates Kirk, makes him an icon, and implicitly justifies continued struggle in his name. It leans right into that political conflict frame, completely contrasting Erica Kirk's message.
Trump also gave Kirk a lot of credit, politically.
He did. Credited him with playing a big role in his 2024 win, especially with mobilizing young conservatives, cementing his importance.
But then she threw in something totally unexpected.
Yeah, that came out of left field, didn't it? In the middle of this eulogy, this politically charged memorial.
He starts talking about autism.
Exactly. He teased a major announcement about autism planned for the following Monday from the Oval Office.
Saying what? We found an answer.
He said, "I think we found an answer to autism," and called the upcoming press conference potentially one of the most important news conferences I'll ever have.
That's quite a venue choice.
Yeah.
A memorial service for a political figure isn't where you'd expect a major public health teaser.
It's definitely unusual, but maybe it shows his political calculation.
Oh, so.
Well, you have this huge, unified, highly engaged audience, plus massive media attention focused on the event. He likely saw it as a prime opportunity to get maximum eyeballs on his upcoming announcement.
Pivot from grief and politics to this message of, I guess, hope on a health issue.
Yeah, and sure, it wouldn't get lost in the news cycle. It shows a certain political agility, using the platform that way, #Tiger Political Power, and the blending of faith.
Let's talk about who else was there, because the list of speakers and attendees, it reads like a who's who of the administration and the conservative movement.
It really does. It speaks volumes about Kirk's influence, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You had Vice President J.D. Vance,
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
DNI Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker Carlson, even HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Right, and RFK Jr. reportedly compared Kirk to Jesus Christ, which is quite a statement.
Yeah, and Donald Trump Jr., of course. It was an unprecedented lineup, really.
VP Vance apparently shared a nice personal insight, too, something about how Kirk treated people.
Oh, right, yeah. He said Kirk treated staffers as well as he treated the President of the United States.
That suggests his influence wasn't just about his organization, TPUSA, but about genuine relationships he'd built.
Okay, but beyond the political power on display, there was another major element woven throughout the service.
Oh, definitely. The blending of politics and specifically Christian worship was impossible to miss.
It wasn't just like an opening prayer.
No,
Yeah.
far beyond that.
Yeah.
You had top contemporary Christian music artists performing full sets. Chris Tomlin, Brandon Lake, Phil Wickham. These are huge names in that world.
And then Lee Greenwood saying, "God bless the USA," live, right as Trump came out.
Yep. Iconic song, live performance, very deliberate blending of patriotism and faith.
And the language used by speakers?
Yeah,
It was very spiritual, wasn't it?
very much so. Lots of talk about spiritual warfare, about putting on the full armor of God. These weren't just political speeches, they were framed as sermons almost.
So what's the significance of that deep blend? Politics and worship side by side.
Well, it's key to understanding the movement's energy, I think, when you frame political fights not just as policy disagreements, but as, cosmic battles between good and evil.
As spiritual warfare.
Right. The stakes get raised dramatically. Your opponents aren't just wrong, they could be seen as actively evil.
Which doesn't leave much room for compromise, does it?
Exactly. It can create this moral certainty, this mandate for total mobilization. It turns political activism into something much more intense, like a crusade. What the sources show from this event is that for this movement, or at least a very large part of it, politics and evangelical faith are deeply intertwined, maybe inseparable. And that faith provides a powerful justification for their political approach.
Explain some of the passion we saw in that crowd of 95,000.
Yeah, they likely feel they're fighting for something much bigger than just policies or candidates. Hashtag Shintak synthesis and implications.
Okay, so look at the scale, the security, the emotional core, the political messages, the religious elements.
Yeah.
Bringing it all together, what's the main takeaway here? What did this event really signify?
Well, I think it clearly served its dual purpose. It was a powerful tribute to Kirk, absolutely, but it was also a massive show of force for the movement he built. That number, 95,000 people showing up, that's a level of grassroots energy that, frankly, political scientists will be studying for a while. It's significant mobilization.
And it sends a clear message about Kirk's legacy too, right? He founded TPUSA at 18, died at 31.
Mhm.
This event hammered home that his focus on youth, on campuses, on debate, that's not going away.
Definitely not. The organization seems poised to continue that mission, probably with even more intensity now.
But it circles back to that central tension we identified at the start.
Exactly. The event really crystallized these two potential paths forward. You had Erica Kirk's message, forgiveness, dialogue, communication as the antidote to violence.
Met with a massive standing ovation.
Right. And then you had President Trump's message, martyrdom, political warfare, fighting against evil forces.
Also met with a massive, enthusiastic response.
Yeah. So both messages clearly resonated deeply with that huge crowd.
So the big question is,
Mhm.
which path wins out? Or can they coexist?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What happens next for this movement probably depends a lot on which of those core messages, grace or grievance, dialogue or warfare, becomes the dominant narrative. And maybe the provocative thought to leave with is this. Can a movement sustain itself? Can it effectively mobilize people by trying to embrace both radical forgiveness and the idea of total spiritual warfare at the same time? Or will one inevitably overshadow the other?
That's a really critical question to watch. It could define a major force in American politics going forward. Well, thank you for joining us for this exploration of such a complex and really significant event.
We covered a lot, from the nuts and bolts of security to the really deep emotional and ideological currents running through it. It's worth reflecting on that contrast, that tension between forgiveness and conflict.
Absolutely. If you're listening on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you are listening on Spotify, please hit that follow button to keep up with our next deep dive.